This is a dodo. Chances are you've heard that these birds went extinct because they were slow, stupid, and just, well, dodo-ish. But if you believe that, you've been lied to. The real story behind the dodo's extinction is far more fascinating, and it all begins over 140 million years ago, when continents were playing a giant game of musical chairs. Picture this: 140 million years ago, a chunk of land breaks away from Africa. It splits into two, Madagascar and India. India, apparently sick of Madagascar's vibes, zooms off toward Asia at the breakneck speed of 16 centimeters a year. Yes, that's about 2.5 million times slower than a garden snail. Speeding away, it creates an underwater mountain range called the Mascarene Plateau. A few peaks poke above the water, eventually becoming islands, including Mauritius, the future home of our feathered friend, the dodo. But hold your horses, or rather, hold your dodos. It's still just a rock at this point. As time passes, ocean currents, gusty winds, and Mother Nature's version of Uber deliver plants to the island. Soon, Mauritius becomes a lush, green paradise. But there's one problem: no animals. Crossing 1,000 kilometers of open ocean isn't exactly easy, unless, of course, you're this guy. Cue footage of a wandering albatross. But some animals do have a superpower for long-distance travel: flight. 4 million years ago, a relative of today's pigeon landed on Mauritius. What they found was paradise: trees bursting with fruit, zero predators, and absolutely no reason to leave. So they stayed. Over millions of years, these birds evolved. They grew bigger, we're talking nearly a meter tall, and swapped their small beaks for giant, claw-like ones to feast on fruit. Life was so good that they didn't even need to fly anymore. Why bother, right? Which brings us to the star of our show, Steve, the dodo. Meet Steve. Steve's ancestors once needed to fly to escape predators, but after living in paradise for so long, Steve's wings shrank, his instincts dulled, and he completely forgot how to feel fear. Show Steve a fire-breathing dragon, and he'd probably just blink. Steve had officially become the easiest prey on the planet. But hey, on an island with no predators, it didn't matter, until humans showed up. The first visitors to Mauritius were likely Arab traders, followed by the Portuguese. But it was the Dutch who decided to stay, and they didn't come alone. With them came dogs, cats, rats, and monkeys. For predators, this was an all-you-can-eat buffet. Giant birds that couldn't run, with giant eggs just lying around for the taking. The rats in particular were like professional spawn campers, devouring dodo eggs before they could even hatch. Imagine being Steve, casually munching on fruit, when suddenly, bam! A savage dog is ripping you to shreds. Between predators attacking the adults and rats wiping out the next generation, the dodo population nosedived. But that wasn't the end of their problems. The Dutch didn't think Mauritius was valuable, until they realized the island was covered in hardwood trees, which, surprise, surprise, make money. They stripped the forest bare, leaving Steve and his friends stuck out in the open, more vulnerable than ever. By the time the last dodo was seen in 1662, their fate was sealed. So why did the dodo go extinct? Sure, humans hunted them, but the real culprits were the animals we brought with us and the destruction of their habitat. The dodo had evolved to thrive in isolation, with no predators and endless food. But when we upset that balance, they had no chance. Much like us relying on vitamin gummies to survive modern life, the dodo became soft in its predator-free paradise. When predators finally arrived, it was game over. But what if we hadn't interfered? Would we have dodo farms today? Kentucky Fried Dodo? Sadly, we'll never know. The dodo story is a cautionary tale. Today, countless species face similar threats: habitat destruction, invasive species, and human activity. But unlike the dodo, many of these species still have a chance if we act in time. So let's not let history repeat itself. Protecting our planet isn't just about saving the animals. It's about preserving the delicate balance of nature that we all depend on. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed learning about the dodo, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time for more incredible stories from the natural world.